All right, today we're going to talk about factoring trinomials. The first thing we're going to do is review multiplying binomials because factoring is going to undo that multiplication. So it's good to review that. So remember how we talked about that factoring was a form of division, so it's the opposite of multiplying. And we also are going to, it's going to look a little bit like factoring by grouping. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to split, well, let's just, since we can go all the way across, I'll just write it bigger. So we'll split this into x times x plus 5 and 1 times x plus 5, like that. And then we're going to distribute x to x plus 5 and 1 to x plus 5. So we'll have x squared plus 5x plus x plus 5, because 1 times x is x and 1 times 5 is 5. And so then we have to combine these like terms, so we'll have x squared plus 6x plus 5. So remember, that's 5 plus 1 in the middle there. On this second one, same process. We're going to start with m times m plus 6 and then minus 4 times m plus 6. So when we do that, we're going to have m squared plus 6m, and then negative 4 times m is negative 4m or minus 4m, and then minus 24. And so your final answer is m squared plus 2m minus 24. Don't forget, you got to do what the sign says, so 6 minus 4 is 2. And then for this last one, we've got two negatives. So we're going to have y times y minus 3, and then negative 7 times y minus 3. So when you do that, you're going to have y squared, and then minus 3y, and then minus 7y, and then plus 21. So remember, negative times negative is positive 21. So then we're going to have y squared minus 10y plus 21. So in the middle right there, we've got negative 3 minus 7, which is negative 10. All right, so let's talk about, so that's multiplying. Now we're going to do the opposite. So now notice, like, we have a trinomial, and so we have to go back to this factored form. So that's what the point of this is. All right, so we're going to be doing ones where a equals 1. So sometimes there is a right in there, and it could be any number, but we're only going to do ones where a equals 1, and so we don't have an a at all. That makes them a little bit easier. All right, so there's lots of different ways to do this, but the one way that we are going to do it is with backwards distributing, or there is a method that we will talk about on Delta Math called the X method. So I'm going to do this first one by backwards distributing. So what you do is you go ahead and start rewriting it, but in the middle, instead of making the middle 9, we're going to try to figure out what these two parts are that could make it 9. Now there is a method for doing that, which is why the X method is so nice. So you have to think of things that add to equal 9 and multiply to equal 20. Okay, so if we multiply them together, they have to equal the 20, but if you add them together, they have to equal 9. Okay, so there's a few things that could equal 20, so that's what you have to think about. So 20 could be 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 doesn't work, and then 4 times 5. So which of those add together to equal 9? Well, the answer is 4 times 5, because 4 plus 5 equals 9. So in the middle right here, we're going to put plus 4x and plus 5x. And normally if A equals 1, so right here, if A equals 1, then it doesn't matter the order that X and Y, or that those two X's are in. So we could have done X squared plus 5X plus 4X plus 20 as well. And so now we're going to factor by grouping, which we learned about last time. So we're going to split these like this. We have X and then X plus 4. And then over here we're going to have plus 5 and X plus 4. And so then our answer is X plus 5 and X plus 4. Okay, that should make sense to you because that's the numbers that we got right here. So they usually work out like that. Okay, the other method is called the X method, and some people really love the X method. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can draw my X in here. So the X, you draw a big X, giant X, and you're going to put A times C on the top, which in our case, since A is 1, you just are going to end up with C on the top and B in the bottom. And think about B goes on the bottom, so it starts with B. Okay, so then let's get a nice green color. C is -7. Oh no, I did that backwards. C is -30. Oh, having all kinds of trouble. And B is -7. Okay, so you're going to think about what can add together to get B and multiply together to get -30. So that's how you think about this. And on the Delta Math assignment, the X is already made and you just have to like fill in little boxes like this. So it makes it fun and easy. All right, so what you have to think about, what are some factors of X? Oh, I didn't write my answer up here. I just realized that. So some factors of 30, and you can kind of disregard the negative for a minute and just think about factors of 30. So we've got 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10. 4 doesn't work, but you can use your calculator to do this and like actually do 30 divided by 1, 30 divided by 2, 30 divided by 3, and then 30 divided by 4 would not give you a whole number. And so then we've got 30 divided by 5 gives you 6. Whoops, I didn't write that correctly. All right, so then you have to decide which pair can give you a -7. So you have to think about adding and subtracting. So for this one, we just added. Well, these were both plus signs, so that should make sense. But these are minus signs, so we're going to have to do some subtracting. So if you do 10 minus 3, you get 7. And if you do 3 minus 10, you get -7. So 3 times -10 is -30, so that works. And 3 plus -10 is -7. So then our factors are going to be, or we're going to write, yeah, so then our factors are going to be, I totally lost my place, X plus 3, so that goes up here. And then the other one is X minus 10. I didn't have room to write that down there. So I'm actually just going to erase that because that looks weird. So you take these guys are your factors. So one goes with X in a set of parentheses and the other one goes with the other X in a set of parentheses. And then always, if you feel like, I'm not sure about that, you can always multiply it back out together. So you can do X times X minus 10 plus 3 times X minus 10. So we have X squared minus 10X plus 3X minus 30. And then you have X squared minus 7X minus 30. And it does match So that was the correct set of factors. I'm going to come back and do another video so that these don't get super long.